Hey everybody, how's it going today? My name is John Quissis and I am your crypto security advisor. So today, in this video, I actually want to go over a tool that I developed a few months ago to help assist pretty much everyone with cybersecurity. Over the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years of my career in cybersecurity, I've recognized that there's quite a few people still that don't understand what cybersecurity is or what best practices are. So for example, phishing, a phishing email comes in, an unexpected communication comes in with a various link and a very enticing offer to go on a Caribbean cruise. Do you click that link? Probably not. However, you'd be shocked and surprised at how many people would click that link. So I have solved a few problems in my career, and I always look for different problems to solve. One of which was cybersecurity awareness for everyone. When we're talking about cybersecurity, oftentimes we'll talk about the very technical details, go to like the CPU and RAM and what's a phishing email, email security, good password hygiene, password manager, firewalls, networks, etc., etc. However, that can be quite overwhelming for someone who is not technical. And that's where I come in. That's where I come in to explain in a more general sense what cybersecurity is. And so I developed a tool called Cyber Soldier. Now, it's a website that actually has 5 different areas within it. And today I want to go over it. So you can navigate to cybersoldier.ca. The link is in the description below. Of course, with all my other videos. I'm not going to share my screen, but I will go over it so you can follow along on your screen because I want you to do the work. So, Cyber Soldier, a cyber secure world actually does depend on you. Oftentimes we'll think of a cybersecurity as, okay, we're implementing a firewall. We're going to stop the bad guys. We're going to have very strong passwords. However, all of those things can be bypassed because of us. We are actually the strongest yet weakest link in cybersecurity. So I'm just going to go over the 5 different areas here and on my screen. Number 1 is passwords. And so I have it structured. It's kind of cool how I did this. I structured the website as you're on a mission to become a cyber soldier. So you're going through boot camp and you have 5 different things to pass. And so passwords, we're talking about very strong passwords. We want to make sure our passwords are complex. So it's not just password 123, but we can have uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and we also want to make sure that our password is long. Typically in the past, 8 characters length was adequate. In this day and age with AI and quantum computing coming, I would strongly recommend passwords of at least 14 characters. So on this website here, you'll see CyberChad tell you a little bit more about strong passwords. So there's 3 different areas here. They would need to be unique. So do not reuse passwords. If I hack an account of somebody and I get their password, I'm going to try that password on every single platform that you are on. Very easy to hack in that way. The next one we covered, long passwords. We want to make sure it's at least 8 characters in length. I did this a little while ago, so bear with me on that. And we want to make sure the password is complex. Pretty straightforward. Moving on. We have phishing. So phishing comes in all shapes and sizes. Typically, they'll come in with an email, either a spam email or a phishing email impersonating some authorities such as Amazon. Hey, you got a new package. Click on this link to see what it is, right? And if you're not expecting a package, you click on that link and boom, the hacker has whatever they have set up. Oftentimes, they'll provide a login page for you so that they can capture your credentials, your username and password. However, simply by clicking that link, if the attacker is sophisticated enough, which they are ever increasing to be more sophisticated as time goes on, all you have to do is click that link and they have access to your environment, access to your computer, access to your email. So we got to be very careful. So how do we spot a phish? You want to be suspicious of all communication. What I do personally, a little bit of a backstory here. I had someone email me And then they phoned me, and I disregarded it because it looked like spam, looked like phishing, and I wasn't expecting their communication. However, a few days later, a guy actually showed up at my door. And just like, oh, okay, this is actually legit communication that I probably should pay attention to. So you don't have to be that extreme, but in my career path, my chosen career path here, I tend to be on the better safe than sorry side. Number 2, don't click links. Don't click links that you are not familiar with, especially if it comes from an unexpected, let's say, email address. And number 3, prove it. Trust, but verify. Always verify communication. If you get a phone call, which often scammers use to try to get you to do something one way or the other, what you can do is you can say, hey, let me phone you back, click, and then actually phone them back if you want to. And it's okay to be completely rude. Hang up. If you think something is too good to be true, it usually is. And I provide a phishing example and the red flags to look for on my website. Number 3 is malware. So malware is malicious software. It can come through email. It could come through a download that we actually wanted to download, but it comes packaged within that download. It can come from visiting a malicious website. It can come from all different places. And so there are 3 things that we can do to protect ourselves. The very first one is install anti-malware. We've all heard of antivirus solutions like Avast or Bitdefender. I guess this day and age we want to use the term malware instead of virus. It's whatever, tomato, tomato, right? Same thing at the end of the day. And so we want to make sure we have anti-malware installed on all of our devices. If you have a Windows machine, it's automatically packaged in. It's called Windows Defender. Number 2, we want to update our devices. So usually we have our phone and we we recognize that there's an update to our phone, but we really don't want to get to it. And it's like, really? Now I got to turn off the phone, then I got to put my password in and then restart everything I was doing. Well, actually, updating our devices is very important because what attackers do is they'll find a loophole in the software, in the code of whatever applications that we are using, and they will try to exploit that to gain access to our phone. So it's very important that we update our devices when they come. Yes, it's a pain, but I would much rather have that inconvenience than have your whole device with your photos, your images, your videos, your text messages exposed to the public. Let's just leave it at that. And last but not least, we want to make sure that we back up our data. So this is often forgotten. Especially in this day and age, we use cloud services such as Google Cloud, or we have Microsoft OneDrive. Apple has iCloud, I believe. And so we don't necessarily think about backing up a lot of things. However, things can go wrong really fast. A little quick story about myself. I was updating one of my devices and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a very smart cybersecurity professional and I'm going to lock down my device. And so I wanted device encryption on my laptop. Little did I know that I bricked my laptop because it crashed halfway through, and usually you need the key to actually decrypt your files. And yeah, I lost quite a bit of stuff. So take it from me, back up your data. The 4th thing we want to talk about is websites. So the various websites that we visit, oftentimes I would say the majority of the internet is actually filled with malicious websites, believe it or not. And so we want to make sure that we're browsing safely, we're taking caution on new links that we look in Google searches. And so, of course, we want to use caution. And whenever we're going to a website, you'll see this little lock icon. And that helps identify a safer website. Not a safe website, but a safer website, because it encrypts the traffic between point A and point B. And I mean, it's pretty simple to set up from an attacker's perspective. So we don't always want to trust that is, we don't want to rely on that control. We also want to double check links on any websites. Oftentimes there'll be typo squatting. So for example, we'll have facebook.com and then we'll have facbook.com. So misspellings, we want to be careful of that. And one of the major things that we can do to prevent against that is to bookmark the safe sites. So not only does bookmarking provide convenience for ourselves, but it also prevents against these mistypes. And the last one here that I want to cover is our social media. So all of us use some sort of social media, either it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. There's attackers on there as well. So we want to make sure that it's completely locked down as reasonably as we can. So anytime we look at or use one of these platforms, it'll come with security and privacy settings. Please review those and turn on the settings that are, let's say, most appropriate for you. For example, I have like all my posts are private. I can only post to friends that I know and recognize. A second one is while sharing it well. You want to make sure that you're sharing appropriate pictures, images, links, videos. A good tip is when you're traveling, do not post on social media, because you are telling everyone that you are away from your original location, away from your house, away from your home. And if you messed up and let's say an attacker is one of your friends, guess what? Now they know that you're away. Bad things can happen. And last but not least, we want to think of the children. Guys, women, don't share nudes. Don't share nudes. Don't share nudes. Don't even take nudes. Okay? I'll leave it at that. So once we go through all of the training that way, there's a little surprise at the end, and I'll leave that to you to discover. But that's all I wanted to talk to today, and I need a catchphrase. I'm thinking of a catchphrase here. I think it'll be securing the world one video at a time. Anyways, guys, I hope you take care. See you in the next video. Bye.